Did you know there's an island in which you aren't able to visit, and you might die trying? A tribe controlling the island for thousands of years, not allowing anyone to come there. A tribe which killed a young missionary just for attempting to help them. In this video, I'll talk about the history and mysteries surrounding North Sentinel Island and how a young adult was murdered. North Sentinel Island is an island which in the past years has gained much recognition worldwide, especially after the death of John Allen Chau on November 17 of 2018. It is located on the Bay of Bengal and is a small island only the size of approximately 60 square kilometers. It is one of the Andaman Islands belonging to India, although it still prohibits going any closer than 5 miles from the island. The island holds large amounts of history and is quite a controversial topic to different people. The insane part about this whole thing is the fact that they have been able to keep isolation when living right next to a modern city. A city named Port Blair, which also is a part of one of the Andaman and Nicobar Islands, is only 50 kilometers away from the island and tribe. I mean, how can an island that lives so close to an island allowing international transportations and visitations achieve such great success at being left alone? Well, that's what I will be explaining throughout the video. The Sentinelese is the tribe who have lived on the North Sentinel Island for thousands of years. Their population is estimated to be somewhere between 50 and all the way to 400 people. They also have their own language, but that remains a secret to us. They live quite a caveman and a hunter lifestyle where they hunt with spears and bows for animals which they later cook. They don't wear many clothes, just enough to cover some parts. They're the exact society you would imagine tens of thousands of years ago before any technology existed. Instead, they never advanced to newer technology like we have, but remained in their own lifestyle and way of life. The Sentinelese are known for their skill in crafting weapons and tools from materials which have been found on the island, such as iron from shipwrecks during fights or random trash floating on the ocean water. They build huts and villages with the resources they gain from the island, since the whole island is covered in a tall forest filled with large trees. Their main source of weapons are bows and spears. Throughout history, the Sentinelese have shown much aggression towards people outside the island. This is one of the reasons to why they're able to maintain their isolation and protect their way of life without many people attempting to ruin it. Simply, it's not worth the chance of getting killed. India's stance on North Sentinel Island has evolved over time. In the 1970s and 1980s, there were attempts to establish contact with the Sentinelese, however, they were met with disagreement from the tribe. The Indian government eventually recognized the need to protect the tribe's isolation and respected their wishes, declaring a 3-mile exclusion zone around the island in the 1990s. Today, the Andaman and Nicobar Islands administration is responsible for overseeing the protection of North Sentinel Island and the Sentinelese tribe. They work closely with the Indian Coast Guard to make sure no one reaches the exclusion zone without authorized access to the island. The Indian government has also stated that they would not prosecute any of the Sentinelese for killing people who have invaded their island. Now, let's talk about the story of John Allen Chau. In November 2018, the story of the 26-year-old American Christian, John Allen Chau, crashed the internet, making headlines, mainly due to his dreams and ideas of introducing the Sentinelese to Christianity. Chau had a history of missionary work and a hiking background. He wished to bring a whole new discovery for the Sentinelese and possibly connect our worlds with theirs. He ignored India's exclusion zone and would make many attempts at reaching the North Sentinel Island. Before trying to get to the island, he had to design a thorough plan so there won't be any large unexpected problems. A few months before Chau's plan, or in around August of 2018, the Indian government opened up 29 inhabited islands in the Andaman and Nicobar Islands to boost tourism. However, visiting North Sentinel Island without official permission from the government remained illegal. Although John Allen Chau knew that it was one of his life's goals to share the holy truth of the Bible with the tribe. In October 2018, Chau devised a plan to visit the island. He created a kit containing all of the things he wishes to show the Sentinelese, or extra materials if anything were to go wrong. There were picture cards, gifts, medical equipment, and a Bible. Despite understanding the risks, Chau saw the island as Satan's last stronghold on Earth, and due to his religious beliefs, he believed it was his duty to help them. Chau spent ridiculous amounts of time in his research and planning. He studied the Sentinelese language and culture, as well as the island's geography. He was well aware of the potential dangers that would come with going to the island. For example, possibly bringing diseases to which the Sentinelese had no immunity to, since they're far less developed in healthcare than we are, as well as being seen as a threat and getting shot at. He knew the risks but kept going. Chau documented his journey in his journal, revealing his thoughts, fears, and determination to share his faith with the Sentinelese. He wrote about his belief that the Sentinelese people deserve to hear the word of God, and his willingness to risk his life for the mission. One of his final quotes being, "You guys might think I'm crazy and all this, but I think it's worth it to declare Jesus to these people," which he wrote to his family. On November 14, Chau began with his first attempt at reaching the North Sentinel Island. He hired a fishing boat in Kolkata, located 1,292 kilometers away from the North Sentinel Island. He would bribe two fishermen with around 25,000 rupees, which is approximately $335, warning them of the possible risks that would come with the journey. Although, the fishermen still agreed and they set sail at nighttime. Evading coast guards, Chau soon reached the 3-mile exclusion zone. Later, at around 5:30 a.m., Chau transferred to a kayak and paddled the remaining distance. Upon reaching the island, he encountered several armed Sentinelese men. He attempted to communicate using sign language and basic words, but after the tribe not reacting politely, he retreated until the next day would return. The following day, Chau came up with a different approach. He would sing worship songs and spoke in Xhosa, which promoted laughter from the Sentinelese. After thinking he had slightly befriended or gained any trust from the tribe, he attempted to offer fish and gifts. Although they reacted in a very hostile way, piercing his Bible with an arrow, forcing him to retreat once again. His final attempt would be on November 17, and when leaving the kayak he told the fishermen to leave him behind and return without him, knowing that he might not make it back. His diary made it clear that he didn't want to die, but accepted the possibility of it. As he approached the island for the last time, it was unclear of what happened. Although, what we do know is that not too long afterwards, the fishermen saw the Sentinelese dragging Chau's dead body. This would mark the end of Chau's mission and life, and that would be the last time he was ever seen again. After Chau's death, he made international headlines, creating heated debates about whether it was morally correct or not. Should the Sentinelese be left alone or not, and the responsibility of governments to protect both their citizens and isolated tribes. Indian authorities launched an investigation into Chau's death, while his family released a statement expressing their grief and respect for the Sentinelese people's desire to remain undisturbed. Following the incident, the Andaman and Nicobar Islands administration tightened their security measures around North Sentinel Island to prevent similar incidents from happening in the future. North Sentinel Island exists in a world apart from ours, but that hasn't stopped outsiders from attempting to breach its borders. For the Sentinelese, their island is their entire world, and to them, we are the aliens. I don't recommend making any action similar to John Allen Chau, and I believe it is crucial that we respect their want for isolation and leave them undisturbed.